an example of he set an example of people like not only doing, working hard in practice and, giving the expectation, but rising above it in so many different ways. Not only was he a great, influence on, getting extra work in, but he was such a great teammate, such an uplifter. Every time one of us was having a great game, he was always celebrating. And, you know, every time one of us was down, he would always be like the first guy just to be like, hey, come on, like to pick us up. And for our team, that was something that was so important. And, it's definitely not going to be the same without him. And I hope I hope next year that people come back, with that same mindset that he had in working on his game, being a great captain, being a great captain.
I think he's now maybe the fifth or sixth player, a 4-year player for Izzo to not go to a Final Four. But it sounds like that's not a fitting legacy in your eyes for what he meant to this program. Is that right?
No, for this tournament, it was for the seniors. It was for Jaden, Frankie, and Shimon. Because we all know that they're never gonna have this opportunity again, and we wanted, you know, we want to do this for everybody, but especially for them. And for the entire year, everything that we've been through, the ups and downs, and all the practices, all the hard work that we've put in as a team, we really wanted to win it for them, and to not just to not accomplish that is devastating.
Now that now that you've tasted this, I'm sure it increases the drive to get back to this point and beyond.
Yeah. One of the things that I've learned from being in college and being at this program specifically is that you have to find the the good side of things. You have to be positive. You have to look for positives. And as devastating as this is, there is a positive that there's a fire underneath all of us who are coming back, and how much we want this, and how much we want to. In some ways, we want to savor this moment because we want to make sure that we never feel this again, and that from a week from now, from 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, that this feeling is what drives us, to get in the gym more, shoot more shots, and get better as a player and as a team. And so I think all of us players are going to savor this moment and make sure that we're never going to feel this again.
How much pride do you take in being part of a team that's kind of bigger than basketball? I mean, obviously, basketball element, but you guys made good it's a good family. It's like what's a lot of people have had fun watching you, and kind of at the time of college sports actually kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Right.
I take so much. I let me tell you, like the chemistry and the togetherness that this team has was something that I was not expecting going into this year, and that's why this loss is so devastating. Is because it's it basketball was like part of the fun. Being around these guys every day was the best. It really was. I love every single one of these guys because they were always like guys that I can go to on and off the court. Just they were like my best friends. Honestly, everybody on this team was my best friend, and like knowing that it's not going to be the same moving forward, with Shimon, Jaden, Frankie gone, like it's what makes it so hard. And you know, part of the journey is the end. And I mean, I'm it's gonna be great to come back here next year with you know some of these guys, but not having Frankie and Shimon and Jaden there is just gonna be it's gonna be different. It's gonna be sad.
Team like this, I mean, not everybody needs to experience it. I mentioned that next year they have a stewardship of that in the future. Make sure they got something.
Yeah, yeah, no, it would mean everything to, I think, not only to me but to everybody, to try to bring this back, to bring this sense of you know brotherhood and family back, because it's one of the things that made us so successful. And you know I don't think I'd have as much fun playing basketball if that wasn't part of it next year.
This game was played a lot and close on both ends of the floor. Just how was that a change up from earlier games in the tournament where it was more spread out, and this game the paint was really packed in?
um You know, there's you know, especially in tournament when you're playing against teams out of conference, they're gonna play different styles. They're gonna have different lineups. They're gonna have different sizes. You know, different strengths. And this game, you know, they were post player, and you know, we have guards and post player. You know, we had a lot of tools, and you know, we tried to capitalize. You know, getting into the post, and you know, try to kick it out. Just try to, you know, try to be effective in the post area, and that's what I thought we did. But I don't, you know, it might not have been enough, but um, yeah, no, it was a different change from all the other games that we played in this tournament.
Jax, a lot of former alumni, former players have mentioned, things throughout the season about how this feels like, one of Izzo's best teams, not only from a playing standpoint, but from a culture standpoint too. I know it's tough to put the season in perspective, but can you talk about, what you feel from a culture standpoint that this team was able to do to bring this program back to, what it was and some of its best days?
Yeah, I think I could actually talk more about non-basketball stuff with this team than basketball stuff because that's where a lot of the joy of all this comes from. I think it's very hard nowadays for all players to buy in, like everybody do their role and buy in and be okay with that and have fun with that and accepting that. And everyone on this team did that. They accepted their roles and they gave their roles 100% because they wanted to win and we all wanted to win. And that's something that was so special about this team is that we literally all did it together, and other teams, other scenarios, they can say, oh, we did this together, but we legit did this together, did all of this together, and we were all there supporting each other, during our highest highs and our lowest lows, and this is by far the best year of basketball in my life.
You mentioned representation joy. That's something that, a lot of times it's hard to find in that place. Because we work so many different things going on. But you seem like a lot of guys on this team on the way to win at a high level, but also that real joy of basketball. That's something that it's kind of a new thing for you.
Yeah, I I more than appreciate it. It's it's what made this year so much different than any other. It's the fact that everyone had so much fun winning and winning together, and it took every single person on this team to do it. And I don't, I hope, I pray that we have the same mentality next year, and I hope so we do because that's going to be motivation because it literally shows that when you do it together and you have fun doing it together and you cheer people on, it can take you so far. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna make sure that we still have this togetherness.
Appreciate it.